following is a presentation of 13ABC Action News. Now, your table is ready. Join 13ABC's Jeff Smith with the decision makers of Northwest Ohio and Southeast Michigan. This is the Roundtable.
Hi there, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Roundtable program. March Madness is upon us. Hope you're having a great weekend. We are starting to get into that period of the year. I know we just came out of an election season, a big one at that, but we are starting to get into primary season, and coming up on May 7th, the people of Perrysburg will see something they have never seen before. They will be judging, or they will be, well, I guess that was a Freudian slip there. They will be voting on judge, a municipal position in the city of Perrysburg, and I have brought the candidates out here to meet you today. We want to introduce to you Molly Mack, Drew Griffith, and also Aram Ohanian. They are all running for Perrysburg Municipal Court judge position. Welcome to the Roundtable.
Thank you, Jeff.
We wanted to open kind of the, I guess, the Roundtable audience to you guys, and as we said, obviously Perrysburg voters have never had to do anything like this before. Molly, I'll start with you. What is the draw for voters to really make it a point on May 7th to get out there to vote for this position? Why is it important?
Well, the judge, it's a large jurisdiction, and the judge is the judge of the people's court. So most of the people that have an experience with the court system will have that experience with the municipal court. Yeah. So whether it's a traffic ticket that they have, or whether it's a small claims or some other misdemeanor matter, they would be coming before this court. And it's a very important position, and I'm pleased to be a candidate.
Drew, as you look at this position and people heading out to the polls on May 7th and trying to understand, this affects, as Molly's answer was just pointed out, this affects people's lives. They may not realize it now, but your position could affect people's lives down the road.
Well, it does. The municipal court is an institutional pillar of the community, just like the school system, the library, a very important one. Municipal courts stand as essentially the first line of defense on domestic violence issues, substance abuse, impaired driving, and more mundane, perhaps, speeding tickets, and as Molly said, people who come before the court for more routine matters. But it is a position of significance and importance, and that's one driver to the polls for sure. It's been
over 20 years since this position has been open, but as we look at the, I guess, the areas that you will be overseeing should you be elected, Perrysburg, Rossford, Northwood Township, Perrysburg Township, Lake Township, Troy Township, also the villages of Walbridge, Lucky, Millbury, and Stony Ridge. All areas, Aram, that are growing. So has the, I guess, the intensity of the possible job, the position, grown over the years in your estimate?
It really has, and you know, I've been there for 20 years. I started off as an intern doing cases there when I was in the public defender's office back in law school. So over the 20 years, I've seen it change dramatically. The caseloads are up, the types of cases we're seeing are up, and it is a very important court. You have the different jurisdictions from the different parts of where the court covers. Mm-hmm. You have all different types of issues, and they all come to Perrysburg Municipal Court. You have the domestic violence issues, you have the theft issues, you have the substance abuse issues, and the criminal side especially. And most of what you handle in Perrysburg Court are criminal cases and traffic cases. That's about 85% of the caseload. So over the years, I've seen it change. I've seen the types of issues as they've changed over the years, and it's a very important position. You need experience to have seen all the issues that are coming before the court. Yeah. So that's why I'm running for this, because I've been there for 20 years. I know what goes on in the court, and I think I bring that kind of experience there. Having the practice that you have had over the years and having the experience, but is there you take that field of judge, you take that position of judge, and is there an intimidation factor going into it at all? What do you mean? The cases you might face, the decisions you might have to render? Well,
I think a lawyer, just regardless of what their practice is aware of the law, researches the law, and applies the law to the facts of the case, mm-hmm. whether that is in the civil realm, the bankruptcy realm, or the criminal realm. So intimidation, no, it's just applying the law to the facts of the case that are presented to you in an effective and efficient manner. And that's what the judge needs to do.
I want to ask each of you, why at this point in your career is it judge? Why are you saying to yourself, I want to be judge?
I'll take it first.
Yes,
Well, you know, I live in this community and we've raised our family here. I have deep roots in the community. The community has been very good to me and I want to serve this community. Community leaders have approached me as to whether I would consider being a candidate for this position. And, you know, I say absolutely. It is my opportunity to give back to a community that I've lived in, and it's been, I hope, my opportunity to serve.
Yes. Drew, go ahead. Why judge? Why now?
Thank you. Well, I've been in private practice for some 27 years. The great majority of my practice has been in criminal work from the felony level on down through misdemeanors. And that background prepares me for the position. In addition, I've served as the magistrate of the Northwood Mayor's Court since late December of 2004. In Mayor's Court, the precise types of cases that come before the Perrysburg Court are heard on a weekly basis. Every Thursday we have a docket. I take pleas, I assess fines, set bonds for in-custody defendants, and when appropriate, impose jail sentences. So my experience, I think, qualifies me for the job very well. It is a service position. I view the position as a community leadership position. As I said, it's an institution for essentially northern Wood County. There's about 65,000 people, population in that court jurisdiction, and it's a new challenge. And that's aside from believing that I'm the best person for the job, you know, a career challenge, a professional challenge is what I'm embracing.
Aaron, same question.
Well, like I said, I've been in that court for 20 years now. I've handled over 4,000 cases as a prosecutor. I was a defense attorney in that court in the public defender's office for 5 years, handled thousands of cases there. You know, I've been in that court for 20 years. I've seen it change. I know what the issues are in that court. And so it's important to me. My children are growing up in Perrysburg. My family's in Perrysburg. I want to make sure that they're in a jurisdiction that's protected. They're in a jurisdiction where their rights are protected, and the victims that we're dealing with, their rights are protected. And like I said, it's 20 years of this. It's the appropriate time. Judge Oster did a fantastic job there. I want to continue many of the programs that he ran and make sure that the court continues to grow as it's been doing.
From a media perspective, and one of the things that I heard again and again when I was looking into this, I need to be a quick study on this stuff, obviously, and one of the things that came back again and again was over the years, getting reports out of that courtroom from a technology standpoint, it's been slowed down. And that is something that people, obviously at home, they look to see what's happening in the courts, what decisions are happening out there. If you were to get that position, Molly, I'll start with you. What do you do to improve the technology in the courtroom so that people know what's going on? I don't know if you hit a social media linchpin there and create a Facebook page for, you know, Judge Mack or whatever, but where do you see it sit?
Well, I think you need to be a little careful, at least judges need to be a little careful. I mean, we are impartial, and, you know, to go out on Facebook and that media, I would not be comfortable with that as the judge. I think you need to look and see if you can be responsive in some other ways, whether it's you know, putting things on an electronic docket and you know, putting the cases instead of just the docket on the website and available to the public. Maybe the particular motions or complaints could be put on there, but that's something that once you get in, that you need to look at.
Are there improvements that need to happen from a technology standpoint?
Well, I think the judge, as essentially the leader of the court, needs to embrace the appropriate technology for the courtroom. For instance, in Maumee Municipal Court at this time, and when I have a client in my private practice, if I want to see a pre-sentence report prepared by the probation department, you go into the probation department, they hand you an iPad and you scroll down. It's green, it's available. That's not so much public access for that, but for the practitioners in the court, that's a big improvement. So I think the judge and the court and the administrative staff need to be vigilant to try and improve access for the public. The court has a very effective and operating website at this time. Each municipal court's website is a little bit different, and if you poke around on those a little bit, you have to figure each one out. not to necessarily put them all on the same platform, but this is public record, and some things are evidence, and on pending cases you have to be a bit careful with that. And I'd agree with Molly that perhaps you don't want to necessarily step all the way out to Facebook, but be vigilant about embracing technology, train your staff to use it properly, and serve the public and the people who appear in the court.
Aaron, what do you bring to the table?
Well, you know, the court right now is well run, and they do embrace technology, but you always have to look at new technologies. That will make the court more efficient. That will make the resources that are spent better spent. Mm-hmm. But you know, then Molly and Drew are both right. You have to be careful, because you don't want to turn the court into a public spectacle, because that's not what it's there for. On the other side of that, though, you do want to make sure that people are aware of what goes on, can track their cases. The media, if they are interested, they have a right to be made known of everything too. So you have to be a little bit careful, but I don't see any downside to embracing technology and bringing new technology, new efficiencies to the court.
One of the questions we got when we put it out there for our viewers, as far as Perrysburg and people who may be voting on this position, they wanted to know, as you have all embraced the People's Court, and that being the People's Court, one of the programs that has existed, mock trial teams have been allowed to come into the court. Right. How open do you make the court if you are to be selected judge? Well, why is that important?
Well, it's really important for me. My daughter's in mock trial, so so I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that mock trial is expanded. And you know, on a non-family side of this, mock trial not only does it train people to be in court, potential lawyers, but it expands people's education of what goes on in court. And I don't see any downside to that, and especially with, you know, the resources that we can provide, the courtroom, the technical and legal expertise. I think it's fantastic, and it's a great program, and I'd like to see it continue, if not expanded. I've been a judge in mock trial. I've helped train mock trial teams, so I'm very much in favor of it.
Drew, as a magistrate, are you guys using that court in Northwood as a means for mock trial?
They're not. I don't know that we've been approached on that. I'm not certain that there's a group out in Northwood that is a mock trial team. But it does serve to build confidence in young people, and it trains and educates our young citizens about the criminal justice system, the legal system, and it's a very valuable program. Of course, mock trial is going to be welcome to use the facilities of the Perrysburg Municipal Court if I happen to be judge, and that is probably something that we would all agree on.
Molly, how do you better it?
I don't know. I think by getting, I know that the current judge, Judge Osterud, has agreed to stay on, and I think if he's not busy being a judge of the municipal court, that perhaps he would spend more time
Is there enough education as far as the court out there right now? Is it as accessible as it needs to be?
Well, I think it can always be accessible, because being in court is intimidating to a lot of people, and
if you're there for the wrong reasons.
Right. Well, and a lot of people, walking through those doors is intimidating, and these young people, just like my co-counsel agreed, you know, they are very poised, and they become very comfortable with this aspect of public service. I think the one thing that we need to continue to look at is the fiscal and funding for this program. And I know the current judge offers a CLE to fund that program, and I think that would continue. And with expansion, I think you need to look at fiscally providing for that.
Is it the judge's role to act as mentor, or is it just the judge's role to open the courtroom to programs like this?
I don't believe that it's a judge's role to even participate. I think what has happened in Perrysburg is that this particular judge, as well as the Bar Association and the attorneys, have embraced this. Mm-hmm. And so it's wonderful that the current judge has opened up his court for that, and it sounds like all the candidates would continue.
Well, I think mentoring is a good thing. And you know, some people view a judge as, you know, he's the judge, stay away from him. And I don't see any reason why our kids that are interested in this program can't have someone who's a judge, actively helping. Mm. And so, you know, I think it's an important role for the judge, and it's something I would do. And like I said, I'm a little biased because of my daughter, but sure, even without that, I think that's a fantastic program. I'd love to see that continue.
Well, as I said earlier, I think the position of the judge is a community leadership position, and the more involvement in a program like mock trial that the judge can have, that humanizes the judge. That lets the people who appear before the court understand that, you know, I'm a fallible person.
Right.
I am applying the law and the facts to your particular case, but it serves to educate, it serves to often inspire careers in young people, and it also humanizes the court and makes the people feel that it is their own, and it is the people's court. It belongs to the
still
citizens.
have it be a position of authority, but obviously
Correct.
our culture nowadays wants access to everything right now, right then.
That's right.
Stay right there, guys. When we come back, we will continue our conversation. You've met the candidates. Now when we return, we're going to talk a little bit about something else that is going to be on the ballot that could, one way or another, maybe affect the vote. We'll be right back.